So today I welcome everyone, and I am very thankful everyone for joining this session, and especially this this session on the Homi Jehangir Bhabha. So in India, we have seen many scientists and great philosophers, and there are many more actually those who came in the way to support the India's growth, both in technical and spiritual. So, as this is very important for all of us to know that how it is the India's different spiritual program, they became one of the biggest pinnacle in development of India. The the most important thing in the India's nuclear program, which today we all get power nearly more than 6,000 gigawatt power we can generate by using this nuclear energy. And there are great scientists like Homi Jehangir Bhabha, who are the visionary for this entire thing. So that is how, whenever we want to learn something better, so we get some inspiration from great scholars and great visionaries, those who have laid down this vision. So this, the Bhabha was born in Bombay and in Zoroastrian family. The family, those who traveled from other countries and they settled in India. And these families were very, and they stayed in India for a long time. And then he attended a college and a Royal Institute of Science in Bombay. And later he came to Cambridge for reading mechanical engineering. And after his father pursued, and his grandfather also pursued him, that he should go and study mechanical engineering. But he was not interested. Anyway, there are very great recognition and honors in this list of this great person, and he got Adams Prize in the Cambridge for his thesis, The Theory of Elementary Physics, Particle and Their Interactions, and Hopkins Prize of the Cambridge Philosophical Society, Padma Bhushan in 1954, Presidents of First Internal Conference, Peaceful Use of Atomic Energy. And especially he has given a big, a very nice speech that how this nuclear energy can be used for the peaceful use of this nuclear energy. And then he was president of the International Union of Pure and Applied Physics. Then he got honorary degrees from many places, then Michael Medal. So Bhabha's father and uncle then thought that he wanted him to read mechanical engineering. So when he will come back to India, he will get a big position in Tata Steel. So during that time, the Tata company was growing actually that time. So, but he has written, after finishing his mechanical engineering, so he has written a very beautiful letter. My dear father, you want me to become an engineer, but I am not interested at all, because I am interested in the more, because there are many people who will take up a job. Like in IIT, I always say that when an IITian get a job, and I feel that it is beggar's excuse. If some ordinary person got a job, then that is the biggest achievement. But when an IITian get a job, It is not an achievement actually. This is simply just some kind of anybody who sleep also here you will get a job. That is not a great deal. So such person must think like this, like the Bhabha, who are the father of the nuclear energy or nuclear energy utilization in India. So when he wrote that there are many big men, those who want to do job, and there are many intelligent men, they can do that. But I have no interest in this one. I want to study this physics. So he became very much interested, and Bhabha became interested in theoretical physics, and he influenced by Paul Dirac. So he made the fundamental contribution to the early development of both quantum mechanics and quantum electrodynamics. And he discovered the behavior of the Feminist and predicted the existence of antimaterial particles. So Srila Prabhupada also, he has mentioned that matter and antimatter. Material particles, you have certain physical rules and regulations by which these particles they exist in their position, in the space and time. But the antimaterial particle doesn't depend on your space and time, where it is go beyond that one. And sometimes it is understood by that. For this, in 1954, two scientists they got Nobel Prize for this matter and antimatter interaction. So Bhabha, he has after reading this, after the contributing in this Cambridge, then he expounded a theory, and this theory was known as Bhabha Scattering. So what this his scattering say? So when a electron and a proton or the positron, okay, electron and positron, when they mix till that time, people they were not knowing that there will be a scattering. People know that when a proton combined with the electron, that annihilate. And but they do not know that will scatter and also produce some kind of byproducts from that one. For example, you throw a stone and a coal in a simple river, a pond, and pond is very pellucid water and pond is not moving. As you throw a stone, you will show that the stone will go jump. If you have thrown, actually, in our childhood, we were taking bath, so we know, you throw a simple, a small stone, and the stone will jump from there. Although stone is heavier than the volume of water he displays, still the stone will jump from one place to another, one place to another. And how it is possible? This is how the reaction takes place between water and the stone. Again, it goes to other place. There is a reaction. Again, it will go to other place. Like that, what it creates by interaction of water and the stone, it creates some kind of wave. And that is a resultant. That is called the scattering, actually. So when two objects they meet, whether they are different collider, like here I have shown that this scattering, the plus, E plus and E minus, when they combine together, so this theory of, so he was influenced by Paul Dirac, so who was at that time a fundamental physicist and who profound the behavior of the particle and antimaterial, or matter and antimaterial particle. Because you know, matter, I told you already, matter has a space and time. With respect to space and time, the properties of the material changes. But the antimaterial particle, wherever it will be, it will never change according to our physical natures or with respect to time and space. So that is why he has, when the scientists, they gave the theory of colliding two particles. For example, E plus and E minus. When they collide each other, they annihilate. But but Bhabha, he just thought that no, that cannot be. They collide each other, and they cannot be disappear. There must be some kind of reaction, and after that reaction, that will produce another setup, that is scattering. So when I gave the example of a stone, that when you throw to water, water got scattered. So exactly this is also got scattered, and scattering refers to particle collision between molecules and atoms, and electrons, photons, and other particles. And by this, because it is invented and it is more studied about fundamental physics, so the scientific community, they gave the name as a Bhabha scattering. So this is very important that all of us, we must know that even the great scientists like Bhabha could able to, he has given many theories, and that is called the scattering. And then Bhabha and Hitler theory, there was another theory. What he discovered, the particle, the high intensity radiated in the developed sky. You see the sun. The sun, when it rises in your house, if there is a small hole, you will see as the sun intensity increases, the particle, which is initially when the intensity is very low, you can see small particles in your house. The small dust particles are moving, and they are going up, and they are moving and that light. But as the intensity of the sun increases, this movement will go on decreases, and you will see that when the intensity is high, there will be no particles. If you just observe that. So this was the Bhabha and Hitler developed a theory that as soon as you collide with two, one electron and one positron, and then they produce different kind of photons, and they also create another setup like a chain reaction, it takes place. And that is what the high energy particle from the sun or from the remote sources like star, galaxy, and hits the atom of the upper atmosphere, that this hard heat causes the nuclei of those atoms to disintegrate, create number of high energy fragments and new particles. So these are these, and he has, after that he came back in the into India, and that time he was there was a Second World War, and after that Bhabha returned to India, and he decided not to go to any country. Why not I will develop the things in my own country? And this is the greatest thinking of a great visionary. When somebody has a big vision, he definitely will give that first priority to his own country. And he came back, and he has so much talent. You may hear that many Indian people, so many Indian people, they have scattered all over the world. Just if one Indian can able to think, I must develop in my India, and that India would have become the both technical and spiritual hub of the world. And anyway, he came to India and joined in the Indian Institute of Science when Dr. Sravanam was the director. He recruited him as a professor in IISc Bangalore. And after that, when he was doing the cosmic ray research, and then he developed the fundamental theories. And after that, because in India there was no facility, nothing to be, and nothing, nobody was giving him. And then he thought to write a proposal to build the nuclear research center. And he wanted he wanted to design the nuclear program. And that stages in the three program. One is that he wants that the India to start its nuclear program immediately, and then he requested that time, wrote a proposal to the Prime Minister of India that time, the Jawaharlal Nehru that time he has given, and when he wrote that one, and after that he got the funding, and then he came to, and he established the Atomic Energy Commission, and he wrote a letter to him that my dear Prime Minister of India, I want to develop a nuclear energy commission by which only the Nuclear Energy Commission will directly interact with the Prime Minister of India. There will be no mediator in the between. And completely till today also, you can see that nuclear commission is, an Atomic Energy Commission is connected directly to Prime Minister of India. Then he served at the United Nations Conference of Peaceful Use of, and he gave his lecture. I was hearing that he was one of the great scientists in the world, and he wanted to establish by using the first he got the funding from the Canadian government. Then he has given a very high level meeting, and he has given a speech. So after that, the Canadian government, they became very much interested and to build a nuclear reactor in India. And Bhabha, he told that yes, there was a MOU between Canadian government and Indian government to build the nuclear reactor. Till today, it is there in our Bhabha Atomic Research Center. And then that nuclear reactor program was so designed so nicely. And then he told, this will not be used your nuclear fuel, and the fuel produced in India like thorium must be utilized here. And 50%, 30% of them we should test from your country, which is produced from your country, and uranium from your country, and thorium, which is produced in India. 70% of the thorium will be utilized. And at last, the Canadian government agreed that yes, you can taste that one. And then he tasted, because he never wanted anything which would be built outside and bring to India and utilize. So he utilized the India's potential thing and for this development one. And you can understand that if somebody has a vision, he works for that. And the vision is a great ideology for any person. He wants to grow. If he just here to the public, at the interest of public or interest of the family, you cannot develop, you cannot grow. And that is why the interest and that is why when those period, when there was not a single bicycle was built in India that time. And he thought of many things. For example, that time he want to a unique Geiger counter telescope and established by Bhabha, and he was just thinking, and many people were asking that how we can do this telescope, and then when it will stabilize, and he made that one, and first time in India, where whole world became astonished, and how it is possible for him to build here. And first Indian radio telescope in Kalyan he developed, and large micro detector and telescope, the whole world's large micro detector, and to study the radio telescope in India. Then in the research in nuclear physics began in Then he requested to India government that please fund me. I want an institute where the fundamental research and physics will go on. And the India government at that time, he became unable to give him. And he came to, and one day he was just sitting and in his chamber, and he requested, then he met with Tata. He wrote a letter to Tata. If I can get some funding, I want to build a big institution where the fundamental research will carry it out. And then J.R.D. Tata wrote, that time, Tata wrote to him that if you can put a proposal of making a fundamental research institute in the India, I am very eager to supply that one if our committee will pass. So as soon as he has given a proposal, and he never wanted that proposal should go and be examined. Proposal must be sanctioned and it must be it must be given to full authority so they can build the equipment. He never wanted. He wanted an institution where government cannot even interfere. So who will be the? That is how he wrote a proposal and got from Tata full funding for developing this Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in the early 1950s. And he started the first research and first computer, everything he brought, and he developed this Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in 1950. And after that one, he added that this Tata TIFR is fully developed for experimental research and cosmic rays leading to balloon-based experiment. Balloon-based experiment, that explosion takes place and how they interact with different molecules and interaction of different particles. So that was the biggest experiment actually. And then he has a radio telescope. He was first established in the Pune, and then he thought that only this research will not only lead. Later time, even India was not interested, not manufacturing a simple cycle, and he thought of 530 meter long parabolic cylindrical reflecting surface. And people thought that how it will be built and how it will stabilize when there is a wind. And he completely designed here and established that one first time in India that time. And that time he could able to study many more that how this reflecting surface can create different kind of the particle interactions also. Then he tracked the celestial object about 10 hours, and from rising to setting up in the western of the antenna, mechanical long is long, and mechanical very stable actually during any wind speed. Then Bhabha also built a 12-inch diameter circular cloud chamber to study the scattering characteristics of light. So the cloud chamber are a very important device to visualize the propagation and interaction of high energy particles. So this way, you can see that during that period, Tata developed online data processor here in India by bringing many. He built here, and India's first computer he established in the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. And there is an automatic calculator. That time there was no calculator. He developed here. He's a one man who have many vision. He is not only visionary, he's a builder of institution. He's a builder of nation. So you can think that when people all over the world, they were thinking about this, he could able to build here in India. And such a visionary is very rare to get. Then he thought that because this molecular biology also, another kind of interaction that nanoparticle level research and fundamental research of electron and how to use in the service of mankind also. So he started the molecular biology also. So mathematics, physics, and molecular biology. He added three together, and that was initiated in the Tata. And then first research reactor in Asia, he was built here, and that time Prime Minister Nehru, he visited that to see this one. He inaugurated this. Until today, the same reactor is utilized for the testing purpose also. And he built a 1 megawatt swimming pool type reactor at Trombay. And then in the July 1960, new reactor, Circus, which is Canada Indian Reactor Utility Service, was built. And today also, if you go in Trombay, you must be seeing this picture of Bhabha Atomic Research, and they will show you this one. It is the contribution of that great scientist. So that is why the Indian, a new 100% Indian reactor he built here. And that time, even Japan, he got faculty position and research director position in many countries, like Brazil, every country, there were people who were inviting him. Even those days, Newton also, Einstein also during that period, he was also developing, but in India, the parallel Einstein was our Bhabha. Bhabha was that time, and that time he was a great scientist those period. So then he planned the 3 stage of nuclear power program, and he thought that if the hydro energies are not sufficient, our globalization is going on, and many big industries are coming, and Tata was the first industrial project in the Jamshedpur Tata, and where Tata was requiring around 1300 megawatt power that time. And then he told that if we can have fundamental understanding about how to control the uranium fusion, then we can easily produce electricity. Then he designed this 3-stage Indian nuclear program, that this is the natural uranium, then then the reaction, then there is a nuclear fusion, and then your D2O, the heavy water, the controlling rod, then they produce the heat, then generate the heat energy, then it is developed the power. So like that, there are many these projects. So still, the system is continued in India. And also, he was not only in the nuclear program, and when Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, that time he was planning for India's first rocket launching, he came there, and he gave also the idea how to make stabilize when this rocket, generally, when the rocket carries around 800 tons of fuel. So if you carry a small fuel pot on your head, you will see that your head will move like this. But he gave the idea how to stabilize when the liquid fuel is carried by a big vehicle in the space, how to stabilize that one. And that is the biggest aspect of the aspect of the space research today also. So when you have a lot of the liquid fuel, and how to stabilize when initially initially it will start from the rocket pad, when it will launch. If that time it will destabilize, it will fall there, and it will devastate the entire area wherever it was. So how to that also he helped the Dr. Vikram Sarabhai that time. And then Tata Trust they have given, and he has also told that in this research center, and he was recruiting great big scientists that time, and tell everyone that you must study the fundamental nature, and this study should be utilized in the you can understand the visionary. They know when they built an institute, where should be built. For example, when we used to stay in NIT Rourkela, just beside NIT Rourkela, there is a Steel Authority of India, where you study the theoretical aspect and go to the company and see the practicality of the system. So exactly, the visionary must have such kind of vision, and he could able to create such a great. And then Tata, then TIFR and Department of Atomic Energy. So they became a new challenge, and Bhabha continued and he was discussed among all the people in the world. And you can see that Einstein, Bhabha, all they are working together. They are discussing the scattering of the different electrons actually. So let the group of innovative people come together and start work building can come later. So this is what it is, the vision that if building is not there, there is no work. People will say no. If you go to many villages in India, there is no place where the many places they don't have school, they don't have roof. While teachers they teach the student in the under the sun rays. So like that, the nation never see the comfort of this one. And then he established the Department of Energy, Atomic Energy, and then he was the first chairman and give full freedom to all the scientists to develop and enhance their knowledge and utilize that in the service of mankind. And this is how a great and Bhabha was truly a great man, and that's why Renaissances there is another one hotel called the. So he is a great personality. He wrote, "I love the consciousness of life, and I want as much if it as I can get. But the span of one's life is limited. What comes after death, no one knows, nor do I care. Since therefore, I cannot increase the contents of life by increasing its duration. I will increase it by increasing its intensity. Art, music, poetry, and everything else that conscious I do have this one purpose, increasing the intensity of my consciousness of life." So till today, Bhabha was a great artist also. In the free time, he never utilized from the childhood. He always engaged in many artists. He used to make art, and till today in Bhabha Atomic Research, if you visit, many times you will find this is art by Homi Bhabha. Then he has many music. He used to write poetry, and that way he always understand that this life is not that we should get this life just for spending like eating, mating, sleeping, defending. And then Bhabha died in 1966 in plain grass, and that time it was a big loss to India. If he would have been here, India would have been far away. What to speak of the breeder reactors? India could have built some multi-stage breeder reactors today. And there are, although after his name, there are many Bhabha Atomic Research Center and Homi Bhabha Center for Science and Education. And there are many things. The most important thing is that the qualities of Homi Bhabha, the hobby, life must be in the mood of goodness. Then only you have a creativity. Creativity, when you are passionate, you cannot have a creativity. Like Professor APJ Abdul Kalam and somebody I told on that day also. So he never have, you see, he's a very cool man from his childhood. He was very mood of goodness because he know how to utilize his energy for the service of mankind. So when you know that goodness in your life, you will have a more innovative capability. If somebody is not in goodness in the life, they can never become a capability. That is why today you will see that if they cannot even take care of the family problem, what to speak of, they will take some kind of scientific innovation. And he's a visionary. Visionary means you must have out of box thinking. And how it will come? It will come from the inspiration, the inner inspiration, not moving outside. Oh, you have seen a clock is moving like that. Oh, I should make a clock. Already built, some people built. That is called the utilization of the technology. And the time utilization. The how, like last class I told you, Nikola Tesla used to go to lab at morning 10:30 and he will come back early morning 5:30 and he will sleep for 2 hours. That is what I told you. You more utilize your brain in the developing goodness among yourself or among others, your brain nervous system will develop more and more. And the wiring will take place very nicely. So that is the most important. Then worked according to his nature. Like in Bhagavad Gita also say, if somebody is a Kshatriya, he cannot go and beg. When Arjuna told Krishna, please take my chariot and keep in the middle of the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And he saw that, oh, this side is my relative, this side is my own man. So I should fight with my relative. If I will fight, if they will die, to whom I will show. So he became grief and told that Arjuna, Krishna, I want to beg instead of fighting. So Krishna told that you cannot beg because you are a Kshatriya. You are a Kshatriya means your nature is to Kshat. Kshat means to kill others for the protection of religion. So if you want to become even a beggar, you can never become a beggar. So better you go and fight, and that is your dharma. And that is what we must understand. What is our characteristics? And that characteristic, if you learn nowadays, yesterday one gentleman called me and told, sir, my son wants to study electrical engineer, but I want that he should study the computer science. What do you feel? I told him, this is a great mistake you are going to. He has interest in studying electrical. Let him go to electrical. Why you force him? And this is the way that Indian people today, we exactly forgot what is the nature. Even if they are very good in music, we will send them, oh, go to IIT. And after coming here, that people become frustrated. So most of the time, you must know what is the nature of your kid. And you should never pressurize him or her to go to what you desire. Your desire has no value because he is going to study that. And that is what then one's nature one must understand. Follow the standard. Most importantly, you must have certain rules and regulations in your life. It is not for controlling others. It is for controlling yourself. It's not that, oh, I want to control many people. No. You must have some certain rules and regulations. Until today, in TIFR, one scientist, he was explaining me, the environment is so beautifully he designed that it is so perfectly designed, this TIFR infrastructure, that till today it is like a modern infrastructure. Anybody can be able to think. So there are many people that after his death, many people they gave their they so much the accreditation to Homi Bhabha. And how to we must learn to inspire. What is first thing is advancing positive peace in the world, actually. So most important thing that how you should be very peaceful when you are doing some kind of research activity. In research activities, little bit passion will drag you back from the research activity. That's why positiveness, many times failure will come, but that is not the failure is the success in the research. So one must have firm faith and preventing and transforming conflict. So conflict means the most important thing is that, oh, this scientist has built like this. I must say nowadays, when you write a paper and publish, you must show in this paper there is so many difficulties, this is not working, this is not, and which I propose it is better than him. And that is what today science is exploitation. If wherever he have studied, if you have studied from there, oh, he has studied up to this, now I have increased the study up to this point, then the science will grow. And today, the science is exploited because you want to nullify others' idea and you want to establish your idea. And that is what the conflict. Promoting just and harmonious society. The harmonious society means you should not make such things which will deteriorate the social structure of the world. And working for sustainable and integral human development. One must know that the human develop, for example, the electricity, which is very much essential, and that type of the technology one must give to the society so that they are integrated with human values. If human values are not there, then we have nothing. Protecting the earth is not that you produce a lot of nuclear. I have seen in Kota, they produce a lot of nuclear reactor, this remnants, they put in a place, and around that so many people are there, they are affected by many diseases. So he very beautifully he has designed that he protected the complete that all the nuclear reactor, whatever the remnants, he utilized it in many ways, and at last he dumped it. He did not channelize it to anywhere actually. So that is what in Srimad Bhagavatam there are very great scholars like Brahmaji. When he saw Lord Krishna, he made a mistake. He took all the Krishna's friend and he saw that Krishna again created same number of cows, calf, everything. And then Brahma thought, Brahmaji came and understood that, oh, Lord has created. So he, the Supreme Lord, he understand, and he came to surrender to Krishna. And Brahmaji is speaking this beautiful verse, Gunatvanestepi gunan vimantum hitavate nashakai srecha kalena jairva vimita sukalpe surpa savase ke moika dudabhasa. In time, land philosophers or scientists might be able to count all the atoms of the earth, the particle of snow, or perhaps even the shining molecules radiating from the sun, the stars, and other luminaries. But among these landmen, who could possibly count the unlimited transcendental qualities possessed by you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have descended unto the surface of the earth for the benefit of all living entity. When Krishna comes here and they come, and one day maybe scientists could be able to count the number of atoms. Till today nobody could ever count. And this is the unsolved problem. The scientists must look into this. If anybody can solve this one, you count the number of atoms on the earth, you can avoid all kind of miserable condition like earthquake, like landslide, everything you will control because you know how to manipulate when you have number of atoms you understand. Particles of the snow, you can control even sliding, everything you can control. So that is why, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, like Lord Sankarsana actually have counted the number of atoms on the earth, molecules in the entire earth. Such a personality as Sankarsana, who had been continuously chanting the glories of the Lord. So when you are chanting the glories of the Lord, Lord inspires you, and such a great thing. That is why here it says, Yad yad acharati shrestha tat tat evetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standard he set by exemplary act, all the world pursue. That is why public always need a leader. Without leader, nobody, like we all are doing research. You need some kind of inspiring person where you can contribute, you can learn from him. And that is what this Sravanam classes every week we are doing, that to inspire ourselves how to become a out of box, how to become a great, at least innovator. You try. Whether you will become or not, it is depend on the time, but you try. A leader should teach by his own behavior, and that is the activity. Like Homi Bhabha, he has gave his whole life, and teacher must follow the authorized process. You should not. You must follow the authority, and that authority are. That is why in the olden days the kings were the Rajarsis. They used to learn from the great rishis. Great rishis are they are not done nothing but they are great scientists. They could be able to manipulate. For example, Dhritarashtra was hearing from Sanja, and Sanja, by sitting in the near Dhritarashtra, he could be able to see the Kurukshetra war, which is 700 kilometers away from Hastinapur, and he was able to see. Such subtle science was available during those periods. The king or executive head of the state, the father, the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral and spiritual code. And that is what in Bhagavad Gita is a great natural code which inspires us, thousand people all over the world, and also inspires ourselves. And when you read that Bhagavad Gita, you will understand that how we can become like a Arjun, like a great man like Arjun, and to develop such an Arjun could able to control a many weapon, which is nothing but different particles, how they interact. They know complete theory as well as practicality. So we all must inspire, and it is a great person. Thank you very much for attending this class. If you have any comment or questions, it will be, I will be very happy. I will answer your question. Okay. Thank you very much. So, thank you everyone. So you can ask questions, or if so. So I will send the slides to Atul or Sushil or Sital. So they will share the slides with all of you. Okay. So thank you for participating, and I am very happy and I am thankful that you all participated in this program and we try to explore one by one great personalities and with science. Then we will hear from different philosophers, then great saints of India, those who were put many scientific research also, like Madhavacharya. He took one verse from Bhagavad Gita, he could able to explain many theories. Okay, so there are great philosophers, great, and there are many things to be learned from them. And one by one, we will go on doing that. Okay, so so somebody asked me, and I think some aware. Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. In research, what to do if some results or data are not coming as per expectation, which will otherwise can give good publication. Thank you. So that is why research means it's not that you want the expectation and the same thing come in one day, next day you will get PhD. So in the PhD is nothing but the introduction to research. When you will become faculty, then your research will start. And the PhD or research time means it is introduction to research. We are just learning how to research. So we'll make mistake. Many times data will not come according to your expectation. But you go on doing many times, you will see that it will come one day. But that your continuous effort must be given. For example, I remember once I built an inverter, and when I called my teacher, and as soon as my teacher reached there, that inverter burnt actually, all switches burnt. My sir told, where is your inverter? I told, sir, already burnt. So sir told me, Ranjan, you should not behave like this. You should first check and call me. Like that, many things come. Okay, that is why we should don't worry. You should just chant Krishna's name and do your work. Okay, you will see that one day that same result what you expected, same thing will come. It will come. That is why we take 4 years, 3 years, 3 and more years. And sometimes some people they take 6 years, 7 years also. Okay, that is why we need to do research. So research takes always time. Okay, thank you very much. Wonderful question. Sir, intelligence is born or by made? How people like Homi became so intelligent? Yes. The intelligent, whatever the brain power given to all of us, we only utilize in our whole life 10% of it, maximum. Those who are high IQ, they use 10%, according to a great philosopher and the psychiatrist, English psychiatrist. He has given that 10% of the brain we utilize. Because most of the time we do not utilize the brain. So when you use your brain power, more than 10% in this whole world, you become most intelligent. And that is the sharpness of every brain. Nobody is intelligent, everybody is intelligent. And for example, a fish, I was seeing, a fish could be able to make a beautiful flower in the sand. A fish is also intelligent. He has so much innovation. And so also, like a spider, he makes its net. He's very intelligent. A small net and catch a big insect when it fall. The small net and he bound. As soon as I was seeing a small bird, a small insect fall, and immediately he wired that with a small one. And the intelligent he has also. It's not that only we have intelligence. We have intelligence, but this intelligence can be developed. And that is called the neuroplasticity. I told you, When you fire it, the neurons are wiring. If you don't fire, like you sleep for more time, the neurons will not fire, so there will be no wire, always disconnected. So that is how you can develop your brain. And that is why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that Buddhi, Dadami Buddhi Yogantam. Who gives intelligence? Krishna gives intelligence. If you are inspired, he gives intelligence. And he will give intelligence if you are interested that I will develop for mankind something. He will definitely give intelligence. That is called the neuroplasticity. Okay, to nowadays the people study about neuroplasticity. Okay. Okay. So any other question or we stop here? Yeah. So thank you so much. I cannot read all the people's this thing name, but I thanks to everyone for joining this session. And next time we will again meet with another scientist or philosopher. Okay. So we will I will just after one day I will announce. So please join, and you will get many things in this. That is how that anybody want to become an excellent, you must take inspiration from such people like Homi Bhabha, last time, like Nikola Tesla. He never an ordinary person. Then we studied about Einstein. And everybody has in their life, they have so much they learned. And the human form of life is to develop. In this life, we can develop something, and that will be our great long lasting, and the whole human society will give. Okay? Is there any scientific and simple practical technique for what is that? Practical technique to some Shiv Shankar. Practical technique to attend to in modern practice. I am not able to read that. Can you speak? Shiv Shankar.
To activate the intelligence. To activate.
Practical technique to an intelligent.
To activate the intelligence. To activate the intelligence.
To activate the intelligent. Yes. This is told in the first verse of Sikhastakam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, what he say? Chetu darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam sreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidya badhu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratibadam punna mruta swadanam sarvatma stapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan. When you chant the holy name of Krishna, then automatically, slowly the intelligence will develop. And I have seen many scientists actually, not here only. I have seen many scientific people. They come to, they try to chant the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And they became a class topper. Here you have seen, like our Gopinath. He was just a 6-pointer in his class. When he came and chanted, always he will get 10 out of 10. The practical example. I remember in the IIT Kanpur, during my MTech, I was struggling to get 8 point also. So I got to maximum 7.5 CPI in my MTech. And in PhD, I started learning this one, and immediately we got I got 10 out of 10, all subject class topper. So that you can understand that just you concentrate little bit, you see that so many things you get. In the research also, my guide told me that when we got the best innovative research award in IIT Bangalore, my guide told, Ranjan, I took many intelligent boys, but I never get such award. and you are not so intelligent. I thought that you are not very intelligent, but come, you come automatically. You practice it, you will gain. Okay, this is how we must take. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and I am very grateful to all of you for giving your time and attending this class. And thank you so much.